What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. And with me, as always, the great, the powerful, it's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What is up, brewskis?
Tonight's brew is from the Dunes Brewing Company. Adam took himself a trip down to Daytona.
Sure did.
Grabbed another from that local spot out there. It is their Saison. Saison. They didn't get fancy with the name. They're just like, here it is. Drink it.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, they used to have one called a Sunglow Saison, but I'm not sure if that's what that is because it just says on their board, Saison.
Okay. Well, you give us more after the break.
I will.
On tap for tonight, guys, I know that you have been, keeping up with all these TV shows and these new movies and whatnot, and you're sitting there and you're going, I know how I feel about this, but there's no way that I can continue until I know how the one beer in feels about this. And you're in luck because we're going to give our opinions on Stranger Things Season 4 Part 1 and the latest Obi-Wan episodes. And, of course, it wouldn't be a Star Wars show if a diverse character in the show wasn't being bombarded with death threats and racism on their social media. So we'll talk about that a little bit. All that and maybe more. Probably not. Let's get into this beer. This is episode 357 of the One Beer In podcast.
Oh, it's a big can.
Is what your mom said.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Lost to be found. Someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
Sometimes I just go back and watch that video of Tom Jones when he had that variety show. It was just like, ow. And fucking women go ape shit.
I love it.
And he's just and it's like such a 70s. He's got the little microphone.
Yeah, of course.
It's fantastic.
I like how Bob Barker kept that mic going up until the 90s.
You gotta.
Yeah.
I was watching Price is Right the other day with Drew Carey. He's brought back a modern version of that mic.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, like the long, slender, but it looks more modern, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Drew Carey he's basically just decided this is it.
This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of nicely nestle down into it. I mean, he's done a lot, you know? He hosted a bunch of stuff. He had his own TV show for a while. I mean, he was a stand-up comedian. He did his thing. Now, you just ride off into the sunset as a host of some show that probably should have ended 30 years ago.
Why not? It's a good time. It's like a paid retirement, and you get to have fun.
Yeah.
You just say, oh, sorry, that's not right.
Yeah.
See you
later. I hope he's having fun, because if not, man, that's... Because you can never tell. Trebek always seemed like he was having fun. It seemed like he enjoyed the show.
Sure.
Especially when he was roasting people. It always felt like he was having a good time.
Yeah.
Pat Sajak, sometimes it seems like he would rather blow his brains out than be there.
There is absolutely an angst within Pat Sajak that goes unsaid.
Yeah.
You can just tell.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he gets off on that. It seems like he does. It seems like he likes
I don't know.
Likes it.
Sometimes I feel like he is... It seems like he's made a deal with the devil or something, and he's just like, this is my life for eternity. We're all going to die. And Pat Sajak's just going to
will inherit the earth.
And the people who know him will all just die off. And then our kids will just be like, yeah, that's the Wheel of Fortune guy. And no one will ever question the fact that he's been, 58 for the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
just going to keep going.
May we all be so lucky to live to see Pat Sajak continue.
Yeah. Go, Pat Sajak, go. All right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Okay. Okay. So let's just get right the fuck into it. Stranger Things, season 4, part 1. Because everybody's got to break up the seasons now. Or break up a movie. It's always got to be a part 1 and a part 2.
Yeah.
Just got to get as much as you can out of it, right?
Yeah.
So here we are. Modern fucking TV. Won't harp on that so much. You finished it, right?
I did.
I'm 30 minutes away from finishing it. I know.
It's tough.
It's
real tough.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. But I will just start by saying, like, I had the show, it took so long to come back that I truly did lose interest in it.
I mean, we spoke openly about that.
Yeah.
We had an entire segment about how Stranger Things has kind of been way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was very vocal about not being excited about it coming back. Like, and I mean, frankly, I still don't really remember what happened last season unless they give us direct flashbacks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I watched the little recap at the beginning because I was like,
Yeah.
you know what, this is one of those things where I'm not going to skip it. I think I should watch the
for
recap.
sure. Yeah, it was smart of them to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, there's little references to like like Owens. I just he completely flushed him from my memory bank.
Yeah.
Like he shows up and I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's important, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I completely flushed him from my memory bank.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff, like, you know, I was talking to a friend and I was like, this show's not, it's not like super complex show.
No,
It's
no.
not like, you know, like even if you miss massive chunks of the show, as long as you get like the most important bits of meat, you'll be able to finish your meal, I think.
Yeah.
So he comes back, and to what I believed was waning interest in the show, I was wrong. It was streamed 287 million hours on over the past week or so.
Mm-hmm. It's been making records.
No, it's a massive return for the
Right.
show. I'm not gonna say massive hit because it was already a massive
Sure.
hit, but a massive return for the show that I was frankly I just didn't. I guess I'm a fucking moron. I just really didn't think I felt like everybody had the same feeling about it. It was like,
Yeah.
am I really even that interested in what? And I was wrong.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're back at Hawkins, and we're in.
Should we give a spoiler warning, or are we keeping this no spoiler territory?
I don't know.
Well, I guess without having completed the last episode, we should probably keep it
Yeah, we can keep it spoiler free.
spoiler free.
Let's keep it spoiler
Yeah,
free.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think we can do that without. We don't
Yeah.
have to discuss like.
And we
the
should
plot
really hold
points and
our,
stuff.
our full opinion until the story's over
This
for
is
the
very
season.
true. That is, I'm glad you said that. Very relevant to the Obi-Wan discourse, but we'll get to that.
Okay. But yes, I saw your tweet about not being interested in seeing it, and immediately had to correct that because it. Even though I wasn't interested or so excited in Stranger Things coming back, of course I was still going to watch it, right?
Yeah, I would have watched it eventually.
And so I started, and I was like, okay, this is way better than I expected it to be.
Right.
This is surpassing my expectations and really really making me feel stupid, honestly.
For underestimating it?
Yeah. And for making assumptions about it being like, because I think it was gone so long that I had kind of whittled it down in my mind as just like this throwaway kids show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it didn't deserve that because it very clearly sets the stakes and the tone very early on. Episode 1 even. It starts with that, and it shocked me in a way that I was just very pleasantly surprised. I was like, wow, okay, this is where we're going.
Very much so.
I am in. And it's not spoiler to say it's very much more horror centric. I feel than even past seasons have been, even though it's always been a horror adjacent show. But this one really.
This is like a legit horror show now.
Yes.
Some of the stuff is like straight up like body horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes there.
Yeah.
Which I was very happy about as a fan of that stuff.
The climax of the first episode, I cheered. I was in my bed and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah.
This is awesome."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, we're fucking going there, bro. We're fucking
Yeah.
going there."
Well, not to mention because one of the main pre-criticisms we had about the new season was that not even criticisms but questions we had is that at least from my part, what could they do to maintain the Stranger Things kind of look and feel without it being about the Goonies, essentially.
Yeah.
Because all these kids are growing up now. That's very apparent, not only how they look, but also, where they are in school now. They're in high school.
Yeah.
And, everyone's growing apart. And
You got to address all of that.
right. So how could they, where would they find their footing in making this still rooted in Stranger Things in some way without it being a direct, essentially homage to Spielberg and Goonies and things like that.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Just take from other movies.
yeah, no, exactly. and I had I guess underestimated how much there is that is unique to Stranger Things, I guess. That they have kind of carved out their own look and feel for supernatural and sci-fi and they've kind of built their own world, and I don't think I gave them enough credit.
Yeah.
Duffer Brothers, I'm sorry if you're listening. But no, there's a very distinct look and feel, and though it is still rooted in 80s nostalgia, I like that it's growing with its audience.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best thing a series can do. Like Harry Potter, we've talked about in the past, that's kind of ratcheted up the scale of seriousness and stakes. I think this is doing that too, and I mean, it's so far it's worked very well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's too much to say that there is a lot that they've pulled from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
big reference. Which I mean, again, you're speaking my language.
yeah.
I'm a big Nightmare fan.
Elm Street, Silence of the Lambs, Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Sure.
Dazed and Confused.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the lifeblood of the show is the Duffer Brothers writing a love letter to their favorite movies. I mean, that's what the whole thing is, in my eyes. And some of the criticism that's levied at the show, that has been and always will be levied at the show, is that it's just derivative. And I think, like, what you're saying is true. They have kind of carved out their own personality and own look and feel in the show. But I do still think that it's a nice cherry on top of, like, what they have always done, which is basically be an homage to the Duffer Brothers' favorite genre movies. Because even as I'm watching the show, I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is super derivative. But I also find myself not really caring.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I found the reason why it works so well, other than, I mean, you can't not talk about how good everything looks.
Yeah.
Like the budget, we talked about that before too. But it shows.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see where that money's going.
It's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, in comparison to stuff you see on Disney Plus, even, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Like,
Some of it is, looks
it's
really good.
weird to say, but it's like Disney Plus looks like, like Xena or something.
Yeah.
In comparison, it just feels like way more TV show as
Yeah.
opposed to what Stranger Things has established, which is it mostly does run like a movie.
Yeah.
Look and feel wise, especially. But I was going to say the reason why I think it works, even though it is highly derivative, is because the characters are so good.
Yeah. Except for Will. I'm just done with Will.
Okay.
Why is he even there? He just like wanders around in the background.
Don't spoil
And
anything.
that's not a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler.
Well, no, Will for a long time has been kind of a wet blanket.
Yeah.
You know?
And he continues to be. Spoilers. He just continues to be a wet blanket.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well, they've got to do something with him.
now
but-
I'm at the point where I'm like, why didn't they just off him in the first or second season? It would have given the characters a lot of motivation, would have made, I mean, I guess if you kill him in season 2, you kind of rob the you rob the Billy moment in season 3.
Yeah,
Because then the show is like, oh, so a beloved character is just gonna die in each season, and that's like you kind of find yourself in the Walking Dead thing, where it's
Sure,
like,
yeah.
okay, we know that the show has to end with one of these characters dying.
Yeah, who's it going to be?
And you don't want it to be that kind of guessing game. So
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. I'm sick of him.
Well, there's...
Sorry to
fair.
the actor. It's
fair.
I just don't think they're giving him enough to do. Like he just
No, and I think if there is, I wouldn't even say a criticism, but an observation about this season so far is that there are more characters than ever, more thread lines to follow through with, and, I think they do spread themselves pretty thin. I think they put themselves in a tight spot to really, wrap things up in a coherent way.
Yeah.
That pays off for every character that they've now involved in this entire thing.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do think it's good that they have. We focus on a lot of different groups of characters.
Yeah.
In
I think
this
they do a
season.
pretty good job of like keeping that thread moving from each subplot or whatever.
Right. So I like the fact that we're able to bounce around different groups. I think that helps break things up more, and
Yeah.
I think that was a smart move.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people complaining about the length of the shows, the episodes, because they have been like over an hour.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I
prefer it.
Yeah, I mean, the entire time I didn't find myself like looking at my watch or getting bored.
Yeah. That's just people that just want to get the thing over with as fast as possible so that they can immediately go to Twitter or Instagram and talk about it. They just like Stranger Things would have been the perfect show for Netflix to experiment with episodic.
That was the other thing I wanted to touch on was what'd you think about that? Because even now, like, you're almost done. I've finished the first part of the season, and I think it's great that we have this space now that we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear. I know this is just so that Netflix gets their money,
Right.
And it is so that people can't get a free 7 month trial,
Right.
and nope out. But I think it works for a show like this, and I really do think it would have worked even better, like you're saying, if it was episodic, because so much is packed into each episode that I would have almost preferred having a little bit more time to digest.
Yeah.
And talk to my friends about it and share theories and let it have a moment, give it a little bit of time to breathe.
Yeah.
Before the next one.
I think the thing about making a show like that and having each episode end with like a cliffhanger, for instance, is like, it's kind of like, well, it doesn't matter because
Right.
you've released all the episodes. So like, don't end it on a cliffhanger. Well, or I mean, I guess they ended on a cliffhanger, but then the very next episode immediately addresses it. So it's like,
picks up right
what was
where
the
it left off.
point? What is the point?
It's to keep you binging.
Yeah. It's such an obvious ploy of like, yeah, we're not gonna tell you. You gotta watch the next episode. It's like, yeah, I know, but don't pretend like that was some technique. It's not like a good cliffhanger. It's not like a real cliffhanger. It's just like a, just keeping
Right.
the fish on the bait.
Well, I mean, it would be more of a real cliffhanger if it wasn't like episode by episode, because then
Exactly.
you would have time to sit there and wonder what happened next.
Right. And you go with your theories and I
Yeah.
wonder if this character, blah, blah, blah.
Which
blah,
mind
blah,
you,
blah.
you could do artificially and just like be like, I'm only watching an episode a week, but then you have to stay off the internet.
Yeah,
You're
no,
not
no.
part of the conversation.
No, I respectfully, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't. You can have the self-control of watching the shows once a week, but they're gonna be spoiled for you.
Sure.
I mean, I've been carefully dodging Stranger Things information. Well, I was for the first like week or so. Now I'm like whatever. But the stuff was coming out.
Yeah.
There was different. I mean, the Kate Bush thing. The Kate Bush thing was interesting because when she started charting again for Running Up That Hill, that became a big deal, and everybody was all mad because teenagers want to listen to Kate Bush, as if any of us were old enough to appreciate it when she
Right.
first came out. Anyway, that whole thing. I mean, when a TV show or a movie that's geared towards kids introduces those kids to something like that, I understand the gut reaction of going, "You didn't earn that."
Sure.
You just turned on this TV show. Now you have streaming right there at your fingertips. You can literally Shazam the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Or just Google, or just have your captions on and see. And yes, it is much, 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 much easier for kids nowadays to discover music like that.
You have to do this every time you say kids nowadays.
These kids nowadays. And I think, yes, I agree that it's the ease of access to all of this music has made it easier to not appreciate it as much because there's
It's more disposable.
yeah, and it's not the journey isn't there anymore. Like discovering someone like Kate Bush by accident, maybe, or a friend tells you about them, or your mom loved her,
Sure.
and then you go and get the record. You discover for yourself how much you love it, and I mean, she's fucking awesome. Running Up That Hill is it's a masterpiece, and that album is amazing. I discovered Kate Bush actually through Big Boy of Outkast. He's a big Kate Bush fan, and I was like, what? Why is he so obsessed with this white lady from the 80s? Like, he really likes Kate Bush to the point that he like has a song with her, and he like really, so he was a big fan. So I was like, okay, I mean, Big Boy likes her, I'm gonna check her out.
Sure.
I know that's a weird
It's
through
good enough
line
for
there,
Big Boy.
but
It's good enough for me.
That's how I felt. I was like, hey, if he likes her,
Yeah.
I'll check her out. That was a couple years ago, and so I mean, even I, relative to how long she's been around, am super late to the party. I get all of the criticism, but at the same time, it's like, dog, just let people. Why wouldn't you want more people liking Kate Bush? Like, she's awesome.
Is it not good for her too?
No, it's fantastic. For sure, a fucking song. What, 30 years after it was released is back at the top of the charts. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You should be happy for Kate Bush. And
the kids finding her for the first time.
exactly. And it's not taking anything away from how much you enjoyed the thing. Like, you can still enjoy those songs. Yeah, all right, you listen to it and like some fucking teenagers like, is that the Stranger Things song? And yeah, that make you want to punch him right in the fucking head. Sure, I get that. But don't let that feeling overtake you. Don't let it go too far to where you can't continue enjoying, and you also can't appreciate that it's good for Kate Bush and any other artist that charts because of a massive success. Like,
Sure.
You think Kate Bush isn't happy about this? She licensed the song to the show,
Yeah, she's making money two ways.
right?
Streams and
The fucking
licensing.
Yeah. So come on, man. All right, off the soapbox of that.
Don't gatekeep.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I saw Reggie Watts, of all people. He posted. Did you see this on his Instagram? He posted a video and he was like, "I'm enjoying Stranger Things. One thing I do have a problem with is their portrayal of stoners and stoner culture. It's not everybody talks like this, man." The character Argyle, new character that they've introduced, and literally just to be the stoner character in the show so far, and again, another thing where I'm like, I get where you're coming from, Reggie, but lighten the fuck up.
It's a trope character.
It's so clearly put in the thing to be the trope.
Sure.
That it's like, it is so obviously that thing that you have to just watch it and go, okay, and just keep going. Like, asking nuance of that character just seems to me to be so ridiculously unnecessary, because the whole show again is derivative of all these things and just taken from here, taken from there. They reference Dazed and Confused and Fast Times like a million times, Cheech and Chong and all this stuff, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, but stoners didn't really talk like that. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Like that's the thorn in your side.
He pointed at his TV and went, "Hey, man, that's not how I talk.
I don't talk like that, man. I'm a stoner, man." So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Somebody's gonna clip that.
I'm not saying that the show is immune to criticism, especially like criticism that it is derivative. If that is upsetting to you when you watch the show and you're like, dude, I've seen this before, you know, I think that that's legitimate criticism. I just think that it misses the point of the show. I think criticizing the show for being derivative, for just being derivative, I think is an insult to the artistry of the Duffer Brothers and their intelligence as filmmakers. Because
Sure.
What you're saying that, like, what do you think, that they just don't understand
They don't
how?
get it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's very clear that they're skilled, at very least. You know, even though their influences are on their sleeves, it's pretty obvious. I mean, it's such a well-made show that you can't take that away from them.
Yeah.
Like, you have to give them some give here.
Yeah.
To express themselves through these references and influences, because the end product, and again, the stuff that they are bringing themselves is with originality, is so good at its core. The relationships of these characters are very good. It all interplays well. There's lots of references and callbacks to past seasons that even me, who I feel like my memory has just been wiped of the past like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Even with that, like, I'm able to point to things and be like, oh yeah, I remember that was from that, or some payoffs are happening. And I mean, that's the core of any good TV show, really, is like spending time with these characters and living with these characters, giving them some time to grow and seeing that. And I think that's what the show's been doing. So, I mean, I'm excited about how they land this plane.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff in the air by the end of the first half.
Yeah. I'm sure.
So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I have faith.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I agree with Millie Bobby Brown's take, which is that more characters need to die.
Yeah, and I have I have a very strong inkling that we at least have one character that's gonna eat it.
Yeah.
I won't say who, but yeah, I mean, I think it's it'll be good to, at very least, you know, get us a little bit more focused for the 5th season, which, again, I think my biggest concern is going to be how they up the stakes again one more time.
Yeah. Because,
you know, the way that they're presenting this big bad, it seems like it can't get much worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but that's what I thought when a giant monster destroyed their mall.
Sure.
And then they covered it up with a, well, is that a spoiler? I don't know.
No, I think we're only doing spoilers of
Season 4. Season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, fuck you if you haven't watched. If you're not caught up on the whole show, I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Season 3, this giant squid monster thing destroys the mall, and it's, you know, everybody saw it.
Kills multiple people.
Or at least you think that everybody saw it. Actually, you know what?
I think only the kids saw it.
But how? It was massive, and it chased them down the street. How are only the kids? How were they able to cover that up?
You're asking the guy who admittedly doesn't remember last season. So
yeah, you know what? Well, hopefully somebody can clue us in. I kind of want to now go back and watch the last couple of episodes of Season 3, because I'm like, how were they able to convince the town that didn't happen? I mean, because
I know it was hiding. I remember it was hiding and like building itself for a while.
Yeah. It was underground, and they were like bringing the
bodies,
sacrifices to it and whatnot or whatever. Again, but at the end, there's this huge climactic fight.
Yeah, I remember it ending at the mall.
Yeah. It doesn't just end at the mall. It destroys the mall. Comes out of the mall and like chases down the street for a little bit until never-ending story reference. I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my concern. But what do you have?
Yeah, I mean,
moving forward,
I think that I feel like as long as the Duffer Brothers masterfully wear their influences on their sleeves, I think the show can kind of just continue doing what it's doing. Because the thing about it is, critics may say, "Oh, we've seen this movie before," but proof is in the numbers, man. This train is a moving.
Yeah.
And as long as the plot stays coherent, and they just continue to keep up the quality that they have so far. I mean, I just don't see why Netflix wouldn't make this thing a fucking 10-season show.
Well,
obviously they can't with the main cast. I mean, unless it becomes like and again, they could do this where it's like It comes back and they're all adults and they'll actually be adults.
Yeah, I was thinking they may want to have a time jump in between this season and next.
Well, if it's going to take them 6 years to come back,
sure,
they definitely need a time jump.
Say, come back when it's 1990, and like, oh, we're actually our real ages now.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the show's set in 89, so it'd have to jump to like 95.
It's 86, isn't it?
I think it started in 86.
No, it started in 83.
Are you sure?
I think so. I'm pretty sure this season's in 86. Pretty sure about that. Someone's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one way to look at it.
Yeah. I'm just looking up because I had heard somewhere that Stranger Things season 5 was planned to be the last season.
Okay, you look that up while I look up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, according to TVLine.com, Stranger Things creators confirm spin-off idea and brace for series ending. Quote, there were a lot of tears. Season 4, Part 1 of Stranger Things dropped in the wee hours of Friday morning, and already the Duffer Brothers were whetting our appetites for the 5th and final season of their beloved Netflix series.
Yeah. So, spin-off. Man. It is 86.
Yeah.
So if they do a time jump to like you said, 1990, that'd be like 5-6 years, or no, 4 years. So yeah, do like 5 or 6 years, maybe like 92. Jordan's having his heyday. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Good era.
So yeah, that seems like the only way to keep the stay with the main cast. The spinoffs, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's a lot of speculation. Watch the show, though.
Yeah. Highly recommend it, even if you don't think you're still into Stranger Things.
I think you'll jump back on the train once you...
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. All right. The other big show, which apparently was another record setter, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Old Ben
Kenobi. His show was the highest viewed debut on Disney Plus so far, which is always funny when a streaming service as new as Disney Plus is like, it broke all our records. It's like, what records?
The one it just set.
It's like when you're playing Pac-Man at a public arcade and you break the record and then it just keeps going up, and you're like, oh shit, I'm one of the best. And it's like, no, dude, they're not keeping track of that thing. You scored like 11,000.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you made it to level 2.
yeah, good for you, man.
Right.
So the leaderboard was, I don't know, a handful of like Marvel shows, and I'm sure all of those did really well.
Sure,
And
yeah.
But nothing was gonna. I mean, that you had to know like this Obi-Wan show was gonna just do gangbusters.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 episodes in, well, 3 as of this recording, but wasn't able to watch it because it came out. Everybody was under the assumption that they were going to be releasing on Fridays. I thought that was what their whole thing was. I thought that was part of the reason why they pushed the release back and then released 2 episodes, was so that they could rework the days that the episodes were going to be released. But I don't know. I'm not the only one who's confused. There's a lot of people who are like, what?
Yeah.
So, whatever. That episode's out, but we can't talk about that one because
Right.
I haven't seen it. So, first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kenobi.
Right.
What do you think?
I mean, I love being back with old Ben.
Old Ben.
You know, Ewan makes it. Old McGreg's.
Oh, Ewan McGregor.
He's a good man. He's a good man. I mean, again, it's great seeing him in that role again. I think it's a really interesting time period. I think Stranger Things does it this really random disservice.
What do you mean?
Because, like I said before, the money difference is just so apparent between the 2 shows, and it really does affect my immersion into the world.
Huh. Interesting.
It's just, you know, like the effects mostly look good. It's just the sets, and you know, there's not really a sense of like life in the sets and in the setting, and you very clearly feel the like limitations of what they're working with.
Well, I mean, it's because they're on that soundstage.
Yeah, which I mean has done great things. Don't get me wrong. I love that technology. It's incredible, but I mean, I think we're butting up against its limitations now. I feel like we're starting to abuse it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound too down on it because I had a good time. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I thought it was, you know, it sets up an interesting story. I want to know more about the sister. I want to know, you know, what more we're going to get to fill in the blanks between the old and new of Star Wars.
By the way, you would know more about the Inquisitors if you watched.
I know.
The
I got a
TV
taste of
show.
it with Fallen Order. Okay.
Yeah, you got a taste.
Yeah, I know the swizzle saber. Yeah.
Yep.
The little circle
fly
thing.
with those.
Yeah.
Which, if anything, breaks canon.
Makes no sense
You
at
would
all.
you would think that like everybody's tripping about all this other stuff, but like they're flying with lightsabers and nobody's got anything to say about that.
Makes no sense.
Everyone's okay with that.
It's midichlorians.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think to sum it up, I like it. I don't love it as much as I wanted to, but I like it so far.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like this would have made a better movie, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that pretty much everything that has come out of Marvel's TV show so far would have been better as movies. I can't. Maybe WandaVision is good as a TV show because it does so much.
I think that one is the one that makes the most sense for obvious reasons.
But I feel like the rest of them, man, and that was the feeling that I had immediately after getting done with Moon Knight, was it should have just been a movie.
Yeah.
The Hawkeye show could have been a movie. Would have been a cute, fun, like, PG rated crime thriller / dramedy thing.
Yeah.
Like it would have been a fun movie.
Yeah.
Would have been a fun romp.
A daddy-daughter date movie.
Yeah, would have been great.
Yeah.
And Loki, I think should have been a movie. It should be a movie. Like they are like, so anyway, I'm just beating the dead horse. They all should just be movies, but
We get it.
The Star Wars TV shows, though, I mean, I don't know about the rest of them, but like the Bad Batch, for instance, I know it's just a continuation of Clone Wars, but I mean, it works. It you know, that should be a TV show. It's good that it is a TV show. The Bad Batch wouldn't have been a good movie. The Obi-Wan show, so far, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, like, even in that first episode, they're trying to illustrate how mundane his life is, and like just this quiet kind of
beaten man.
Yeah, I hate to say pathetic existence, but it is. I mean, I do think that they do a good job of like kind of illustrating the like the juxtaposition, I guess, of, because you don't really think about, as a master Jedi, he wanted for nothing.
Yeah.
He was the voice of reason for a major political party. He was, a trained martial artist. He's a space wizard who could control space.
He had the high ground.
I mean, you have to think, like, what a lifestyle that the Jedi led when they were at their peak.
Opulent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that they like swear off relationships, they'd be hedonistic sickos, probably.
Yeah.
And now he's, shaving fish. It's
saving a little bit for a space camel.
Or whatever that animal is, because it's probably not fish. It's probably some kind of like blorgog or something.
A large snake of some kind or something.
Yeah. So they do that, but there's a lot of like, you get to a point where you're like, all right, we get it. His life's boring. Like, can we move the fuck on?
Sure.
So it's stuff like that in a movie that they just would have cut for time.
Yeah.
So it makes the thing more concise. So I see what you're saying. I don't know. I think it's too early to say whether they needed more or less time to tell whatever story that they're trying to tell. But I can see at the end probably feeling the same way that it probably should have just been a movie. All that being said, I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good. Obi-Wan is like you said, fantastic. I think the little girl that they got to play. Shut up!
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
You shut her up, or I'll shut her up.
Oh my god, it's my Google Home.
The little girl that they got to play. Well, I guess I've already said it. It's a spoiler, but whatever. Leia, Leia's in it. That's the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's the first episode. She's great.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. I think the girl who plays Reva I think she's amazing. I think she's fantastic.
Yep, I agree.
And I can't, for the life of me, wrap my head around the criticism that's being the criticism first and foremost is like I don't get that. I do understand the racism, because it's like, of course that's what
as
you
a
guys
racist
are gonna do. As a racist,
right?
Yeah, clip that. As a racist, I mean it's just like par for the course for people who call themselves quote unquote Star Wars fans.
Sure.
There's like this loud minority in the fan base that everything is wokeness, everything is social justice warriors, right. Everything is diversity hires.
They're ruining it.
Yeah, because they're not all white men and women. So that part, ever since the sequel trilogy, at least, because we were, cognitive adults for the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Like the prequels is kind of hard to tell. You'd have to go back and see how people were feeling about. I know that there was people that didn't like the fact that Samuel Jackson gets thrown into this thing and he's like a grandmaster, second only to Yoda, and everyone's
right,
like, "Who the fuck is that's not fair. Why
does he get the purple lightsaber?
Why Darky over there? That's
oh my god. I thought this was the light side."
So I'm sure that, well, I know that he was criticized at least a little bit, but
I
for the
feel
most,
like most people loved him, though.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
They love
Yes.
Mace Windu.
Oh, and they love Samuel L. Jackson as
Of
an
course,
actor.
of
I think
course,
he's just such a pillar of Hollywood that people were able to look past it.
Sure.
Now
the racists, you mean?
Yes, that is exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think now we're in such a hotbed of this political discourse and all of this just bullshit, basically, that anything that whiffs of, they did this because of this, even if it's not true, which in my opinion, my real humble opinion, you guys are fucking just dead wrong. She's amazing in the show. I think she's been a great villain so far. I think she's really convincing.
Yeah. Menacing.
I thought, and here's the really weird thing. I guess I was being really stupid. As I'm watching the show, I'm like, there's no way that they'll be able to say anything about Reva. I mean, you could have your criticisms about some other stuff in the show, but she's been fantastic. Yeah. And then I go to the internet, and they're like,
"You fool,
you idiot!" I thought for sure, like, we would all be in agreement that she's great.
Yeah, no, not for a second.
No,
don't you think for a second?
So not only did the real main blue check Star Wars page have to come out and be like, "We stand with this actress." Mm-hmm. You guys are horrible and
terrible human
beings. You need
beings.
to check yourself.
Yeah.
Not only that, Ewan McGregor himself had to post a video where he was like, "Thanks for watching the show. Oh, by the way, she's receiving death threats.
Yeah. Stop being gross.
And
please.
Racism on her Instagram. Yeah. You guys aren't real fans." And even still, people would jump under that post and be like, "It's not about her race, man. It's about that we don't like her character." And it's like, all right, dude, if you don't like her character, then this obviously isn't geared toward you, right?
Right.
Why do you feel like you need to open the door and go, no, it's not about, it's like, there is clearly a part of this quote unquote fan base that doesn't like her because she's black.
Sure.
It's not a leap in logic. It's right there. There's people calling her out her name for her race. It's not.
That's the type of people who will say like, "Oh, they're just saying the N-word because it's edgy."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. So we should just.
They
let
don't mean
go.
it in a racial way. Okay.
Yeah.
They're just trying to be edgy. They just don't like her character. Mm-hmm. Maybe she should just ignore it.
Yeah.
How about that? Maybe she should just ignore it.
Why are we amplifying these people? Don't amplify them. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So just continue to just let people. That always it always kills me when people are like, don't let them get to you. Oh, just ignore all of the people being shitty to other people. Like, that's how we got here in the first place.
Just shut up and let them be shitty to you.
Just let them be shitty.
Yeah.
Is that how you walk through life? Somebody's like being shitty to a woman next to you, and you just, hey man, you just walk up to her later on, like, if you just ignore it, it'll go away. Or
why are you crying?
Or like, let it go.
Ignore it.
Just ignore it. If you react, you give him the power.
Right.
No. Villains already have the power. You got to take it from them.
Yeah.
By defending yourself.
Sure.
You're cowards. It's cowardice. It's pure cowardice to say it is what it is. You just have to live with it. No, we don't. We never had to, and we should never have to.
Well, and especially in a place that is as low stakes as the internet.
Yeah.
I understand if some guy comes up to you with a gun and makes you give him your money. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna give you my money. I'm not gonna be the tough guy. You know, go ahead and bully me. It's fine.
It's a pretty high stake. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can call me whatever name you want. Yeah.
Right.
It's like
different story.
Yeah.
But if somebody is saying the N-word online because they don't like you as an actor, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're well within your rights to.
Yeah.
To say, hey, that's not cool.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I don't get some of you.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
So we're 2 episodes in. She's already dealing with vitriol, the likes that only the Asian actress from the sequel trilogy has seen.
Yeah. That's the other one that comes to mind immediately.
Mm-hmm. So it's very cool. You guys are gonna get another person of color in this series to delete all of their social media. So 2 for 2, I guess. Good job, racists.
Doing God's work.
I hope that that's not the case, and I hope that this is just. I hope it is just a very loud minority, and that we are able to just snuff them out.
Yeah.
And then continue on with what I hope is going to be a good rest of the season. 6 episodes. There's a lot more to go. And Disney Plus is doing the episodic thing, so
Sure.
we'll check back in later.
Yeah.
And give you an update.
I am hopeful. I have hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've done enough here.
I think so.
I think we've said
Quite enough.
quite enough. But 2 things before we get out of here. Number 1, the cheers of the week. So, Obi, who's your cheers to?
My cheers of the week goes to the remake of Resident Evil 2.
Oh, interesting.
So you know me, I used to be buying stuff.
You just be buying.
But there is a PlayStation sale currently going on, friends. This is your notice. But they were selling the pack of Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes for like $23 together. And the online game that nobody plays.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've waited long enough. You know, I've heard great things, and I remember like as a kid playing Resident Evil 2 on PS1 back in the day. So it's like a core memory. And so I went for it. And I literally last night, I just said, cheap enough. It's not going to get cheaper. You know, I'll buy 2 games that are like 2-3 years old for $23.
Yeah.
And so it was already like close to midnight, and I had to get up early for work. But I said, let me give it a test run.
Yeah.
Let me see how that feel. Show me what that Resident Evil do.
Yeah.
And man, it is riveting from the start. It is scary. It's spooky. Yeah. I mean, the RE engine that they're running that thing off of is like incredible.
Yeah.
And I already knew that because that's what Devil May Cry 5 runs on. Devil May Cry. And it looks great too. But it being this slow, atmospheric, like lots of lighting effects, very graphic and, you know, gruesome and oozy and stuff.
Yeah.
I was very much in the mood for that after Stranger Things. And yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, I turned the sound down a little bit, and I had to pause a couple times and kind of get my bearings before I went through a certain door or hallway, because the tension is very high and it's extremely immersive. And I remember when the Resident Evil 1 remake came out for GameCube, and it's like, wow, this is like extraordinary graphics.
Yeah.
Like, this is the next step in that evolution. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. Still has the cheesy heart that you like for Resident Evil games that gives it a little bit of levity. So, I mean, I'm only like an hour in, but it's great so far.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I watched Resident Evil 2 and 3. I watched people do a Let's Play.
yeah.
And I watched them play the whole game.
Wow.
That's how both of them are. I thought we talked about this on the podcast.
I think so too. I remember you saying you watched a few Let's Plays.
Yeah, well, I started with the Mortal Kombat Let's Play and just was like, well, it wasn't a Let's Play. It was just all of the cutscenes smashed together.
Oh, right.
But I watched
the movie version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I watched the Resident Evil 2 and 3 Let's Plays, and I mean the game, because I can't do horror games. I'm too much of a pussy. So I need to watch somebody else play them, so that I can enjoy them vicariously through someone else. And yeah, I mean, they're really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yep.
So if it's that fun to watch somebody do it, I can only imagine the thrill
Oh yeah.
of playing it myself.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can only imagine, because I won't ever play it.
I mean, I love horror games, but I tend to nope out eventually if it gets a little too spooky.
Yeah.
So it's going to take me a while to get through it. So I will admit that.
the Mr. X jump scares, I'll just never recover from them. He's such a good villain, and it's such a good game mechanic
Yeah.
for him to be like indestructible for the majority of the game, and for you to just have to figure out what to like.
Yeah.
And he just shows up at random moments.
Yep.
And there's that stinger of music, and you're like, oh, impending doom.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah. So, well, have fun with that.
Thank you.
That should give you substantial nightmares for a little while.
Yes.
So, all right. My cheers of the week is going to your old droog.
Don't you mean Nas?
We had a good time talking about your old droog / Nas on the podcast years ago.
Yeah.
And
Had an entire topic about it.
yeah. And got shit for it.
Yeah.
People were not upset with, or people were upset with the take, which wasn't even, I don't think, that controversial.
No.
But fast forward to now, and for the past like 3 years, he's like consistently dropped great album after great album, and people, I mean, I'm sure at this point now he has like a pretty steady fan base that now he can tour his albums and he can just release shit on his own schedule, and that's great because he obviously has full creative control, and like some projects come out and they're like 5 songs, some are 12 songs. This latest project, Yod Stewart, is only 7 songs. Yod, your old Drew, Yod Stewart, and
Wouldn't have gotten that.
yeah, that's I figured. It's not as readily available if I say it.
Right.
You'd have to see it written
Yeah.
to understand.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've liked pretty much all his projects since at least 2018. I think he's been on a fucking tear.
Yeah.
And Yod Stewart is, I think it's fantastic. It's only 7 songs, so it's in the vein of like, you know, Pusha T's Daytona, where it's like there's not enough time to get tired of what he's doing.
Right.
So even if you like, his style is very, very kind of one note as far as vocal range. You know, he stays within this like monotone, and you really are just listening to the lyrics and like how he's riding each beat, and he stays in the pocket and everything. But he doesn't give you enough time to get tired of it. So what you're left with is like just, you know, really entertaining songs, really funny one-liners, good choruses. I mean, it's a great album. I think Your Old Drew probably will never at this point receive the recognition that he deserves. But for the people who know, you know.
I know.
So there you go.
All right.
All right, before we get out of here for good, tonight at least, we have to review this beer. So, Obi, tell me what you thought of the Saison from Dune Brewing.
I like it. My only thing is it doesn't remind me of a Saison very much.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's closest to. Maybe almost like a Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's like
It's like a
sweet.
malty Hefeweizen. Like really kind of bready, but
Yes.
not weedy, like bready.
No. Bready. Bready is the right word for it. Yeah. So I mean, it in a rare circumstance here, it doesn't do what it says it's gonna do, but I still like it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I would get it again. It's reasonably strong at 8.5%.
Yeah.
But I don't really taste that very much. So
No.
it's smooth. Again, very malty. I get a slight bitter aftertaste, but it's pretty much pleasant all the way around.
Yeah.
Just don't go in expecting a traditional Saison flavor.
I think I'm going to give it a 4, and I think that it is nice. It's light-bodied, but also, like I said, bready, kind of, slightly sweet. Maybe it's my own ignorance of like what a Saison is supposed to taste like. Not this, but it still works on another level. So, I mean, it's just a nice, enjoyable easy drinkers.
Yeah.
So is especially like you said, 8.5 higher ABV for something where you think, you know, it's gonna be boozy, and it's really not. It's just
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
think we got it.
I know we got it.
Well, then let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa. For Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Ooh.